All right, welcome back to another episode of Us Anxious Folk. I am here with Anneka from the UK. Anneka is someone who deals with agoraphobia and panic disorder and someone who is bravely sharing her journey with exposure. So welcome, Anneka. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's an
Yes.
honor. It's a pleasure, honestly, it really is.
Oh, amazing. Tell me, let's go. Tell me your anxiety story.
Right. How long have we got? Um, I think I think my story, I think like most people, when you look back, when you have that benefit of hindsight and the benefit of the knowledge that I have now of surrounding anxiety and panic, I think my story started when I was a child, but I just wasn't aware that the what was happening to me was actually anxiety or panic. And I remember my first panic attack um, when I was 8 year old.
Mm,
And it was in the school hall, and we would go into assembly for with the whole school. And I remember being we're all sat down on the wooden floors.
mm,
And I remember being sat in the middle. So I had like rows of children in front of me, rows of children behind me. And I remember just in that moment thinking, I remember the feeling of I need to get out.
mm,
I don't want to be here. This is an awful feeling. And I can remember the feeling of panic, but not knowing why I was feeling that way or what that feeling was. And I don't think, also looking back, it was dealt with, you know, the way that it should have been.
mm.
But teachers, parents, I didn't have the knowledge that I have now. So, to deal with it. But I think this journey with agoraphobia definitely started in April 2023. So I'd experienced, a few panic attacks in my life, and it never really had like a massive impact. I think I was aware that I suffered with my anxiety, but it hadn't had a great impact on my life in the sense that I was still able to work, I was still able to have children,
Mm.
I was still able to travel. I traveled a lot. Someone who suffers from anxiety, I was still able to take a 2 year old and a 5 year old to India, and
That's
and that
that's
and that
huge.
be okay, and that be okay. So in 2023, in April 2023, I had a very big panic attack in on a motorway.
Mm,
Basically, I was just some traffic, some roadworks just came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden I was diverted into like a lane where there was just like concrete barriers either side of the lane all the way, and it
mm.
just all of a sudden just felt very trapped. And it just comes out of nowhere, doesn't it? You don't even have time to think about, oh, this is interesting, I am trapped now. It just you're not even thinking about it, and then you're
Yeah.
just like, oh no, crap, I'm having a panic attack, I'm having a panic attack. Oh, what do I do? I can't get out of the situation. And it was, thinking about it now, it's just like making me, so yeah, I had that panic attack, and it was different to the panic attacks that I'd had before in that I didn't come down from it.
Mm,
I was like the heightened kind of panic. Like it comes in waves and dips down, but it didn't dip down all the way to the other side.
right.
And I was just had this feeling of something's not right, and I feel really unsafe, and I don't know what to do. And we were like 200 miles away from home. I was with my husband and my at the time, and my two children were in the back, and we were traveling to an aquarium,
Mm,
which is in Hull. and called the deep, which I always think is like my journey to the deep.
Yeah.
It's the thing that started this whole thing. Um, and I just couldn't come down from this feeling. And then when we got to the aquarium, I went into the building, and I'm just trying to get on with it. Like, this is a day out. Like, this feeling will go away. I've had a panic attack before, but it was just not leaving me. And we walked into the aquarium, and there was like, you had to go into a lift and go up to the first floor, because you basically, when you go into the aquarium, you go down and down and down. It's like a little journey you go through. So we got to this lift, and I said to my husband, I'm going up the stairs.
Mm,
I just for some reason can't get in that lift.
mm.
And then I started walking up the stairs, and as I was walking up the stairs, they were enclosed, and I was like, wow, this is worse than the lift, because this is taking me longer.
Yeah.
And then you go into the actual building, and it's like one of these buildings which you go deeper and deeper and get further and further into it.
Mm,
And the more into this building you go, you just can't see an exit. And I'm looking for exits, and I can't get out of this building. And eventually I just said, I can't do this anymore. I need to get out. I need to get out now. You're going to have to stay here with the kids. I need to get outside. And I like went to see a member of staff, and I just kind of said, oh, I'm sorry. I think I'm going to faint. Just like,
yeah.
you do, like, I think I'm going to faint. Can you get me
Yeah.
out?
I'm so sorry.
She took,
Excuse
she
me,
took
but
it is funny, isn't it? Like, when you're sort of certain things that you say and that you do, because you're like, you don't want to go, oh, I'm panicking
mm,
because this is too enclosed. Could you
yeah.
get me out? You just like, oh, I think I'm going to faint. Um, and then, so she took me out of the building, and I sat outside, and then eventually I went and sat in the car, and I waited for them to come out. And as I was sitting in the car, I was ruminating, and I was just getting more and more. And it was like, what is this feeling? Why am I feeling this way? What's going on? What if I get back on the motorway and it does it again?
Mm,
Then it was just building up and building up and building up. By the time they got back in the car, I was just like in such a state, like internally, trying to not let that come out on the outside. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't. How can we get home? Like, I can't do this.
mm,
So my husband just kind of said, well, well, you'll be all right. Come on. And so we pulled out the car park. We went to a few roads, and as soon as we joined a motorway,
mm,
I just had that whoosh right through my body.
mm,
You need to pull over. You need to pull over. I need to get out of this car now. I need to get off this motorway. And he was like, I can't pull over. And I was just like, and he was like, you're just gonna have to wait. So then that made me feel even worse. I felt totally trapped. I remember this feeling of like, I don't just feel trapped in this car and this motorway. I feel completely trapped inside my own body.
yeah.
And I was like pulling at I remember sitting, pulling at my clothes, thinking, I need to I need to pull out my skin and get out. It was
Mm,
like that. It was such an awful feeling. I've
mm,
never felt so terrified, and like, I need to get out of my own body. Like, being in my body right now is terrifying me. Um, so we kept pulling over, pulling off exits, and then like me trying to calm down a bit, and then he's like, we need to get back on the motorway to get home. And so I was like, okay, I think I can do it. And then getting back on the motorway, and it happening again. And then this happened like a few times, and the amount of adrenaline that was like pumping through my body at this point,
mm,
um, and the amount of tension and stress and everything that was going on, and so that I think it was the combination of the adrenaline, probably cortisol, the breathing that I was doing, the tension in my body, and things like that, that my muscles started to spasm.
mm,
So my arm was like jerking out like that,
yeah.
in the car while I was having the panic. And then the back of my neck, the muscles there, because obviously like there's a lot of stress around that area, isn't there? They started to go into spasm, and it was like pulling my neck up. So then that was making me not be able to breathe even more. So
Mm,
I was struggling to breathe then. And obviously I'm not dealing with it very well, like I would, I guess, now.
yeah.
But because I did not know what was going on. Like
Mm,
I did have zero idea. This feels like a panic attack, but this feels so much more dangerous. Like
mm,
this feels like this is going to kill me.
yeah.
Um, and I just remember this my body jerking, and then my husband pulled over, and he's saying I remember him leaning over and saying, "Just breathe, Anneka. You need to breathe. You need to breathe." And then I heard my eldest boy, who was probably, so that was like 2 years ago. So he was about 8. I heard him crying. I
Mm.
heard him screaming and crying, and I was like, realized that he thinks I'm dying
Oh my
because
God.
he's hearing his dad tell me to breathe, and
Mm,
he doesn't know what's going on either. And it was just horrendous. It really was, Aaron.
mm.
So at that point, I will say, let me just interject that I will say that the 5-year-old that was sat directly behind me was on his iPad,
Just chilling.
completely oblivious, not a clue.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't even look up. Didn't even look up to the fact. So, I mean, that's a bonus to
It
think that
sounds exactly like my two.
yeah, if you give a kid an iPad and when you're dying, they won't have to experience. It's absolutely fine. He just did not look up. Anyway, my husband said, I've got to get you to a hospital because
Mm,
he didn't know what was going on at this point. I think he was starting to get scared,
yeah.
especially when my body was just kind of jerking and I just couldn't take a breath in. So luckily, we were 5 miles from the nearest hospital. It took us straight to the hospital. I couldn't walk at this point because you can imagine my legs were just gone.
Yeah.
I'd had, it wasn't just like the effects of one panic attack. If you have a panic attack, you can walk somewhere, you could drive, you can, whilst you're doing it. It was the buildup of like 5 major panic attacks all in a row, and
Yeah.
me not dealing with it each time.
Yeah.
That was what had caused my body to be completely in this state. Like, um, and I couldn't walk because my legs were just gone. I couldn't feel my legs. My legs were just gone. So he had to wheel me in a wheelchair, and I could see my little boy crying as well. And the other little boy was like, "Oh, this is a nice hospital." Just not phased. What are we doing here? I actually remember him saying at the end of the day, that we've had a lovely day out. We not only have you been to the aquarium, but we got to go to a hospital as well. I've had a lovely day.
That's so sweet.
Exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
um so they took me into a room and like did the tests on me and
Yeah.
test my heart, my blood pressure, my did it all.
Mm,
And obviously, apart from being a little, my blood pressure was a little high, as it probably would be in them circumstances. um Apart from that, I was perfectly healthy. Like
mm,
there was nothing wrong with me, as you can imagine. And the doctor came back, and I remember them saying, and I just hate this phrase, "You've just had a panic attack."
mm,
I'm like, you know what?
mm.
Just putting just in that sentence does
Yeah.
not make this feel any better. Like
Yeah. Makes you
this
feel
was,
like a dick. Like,
yeah, yeah. It's
yeah.
like what you're saying when you say it's just a panic attack. I know you're trying to make me feel better,
Mm,
but like I didn't say any of this to the doctor, but I just felt like saying it just a panic attack.
yeah.
You go through what I've just been through and say it was just a panic attack. That was not just anything. That was the worst experience of my entire life.
Mm.
So they were like, "You've just had a panic attack. You're absolutely fine." Okay, oh, okay, thanks so much.
Yeah.
Here's 2 diazepam. So they gave me 4 milligrams of diazepam. They were like, "Take these and then give it 10 minutes and then um get back in the car and you'll be fine." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." They seem like really good tablets. Give me them if they're
Mm,
gonna make me fine when I get back in the car.
mm,
So I took them. It did calm me down a bit. It relaxed my muscles again, which is kind of what they are intended for, diazepam anyway. And that's what I needed because my muscles were just so tense at this point.
Yeah.
And I got back in the car and we pulled out and I just felt like the adrenaline start to come again and I was like, oh no, I can't do this again. I can't do this. We've got to get home. Like, and I just said to my husband, I said, I'm going to sit with my fingers in my ears and my eyes closed
Mm.
for the rest of this journey. Do not speak to me. Do not ask me to open my eyes. When we get outside of our house, then I will open my eyes because otherwise I can't do this. Because
Mm.
every time I looked at the motorway, then that's when the thoughts of you can't get off this road, you are trapped, like that's what was coming into my head.
Yeah.
And it was so unusual because I had never had any fear around motorways or anything like that. I had traveled a lot. Like I used to have a job where I used to have to I was on the road all the time, every day. I was driving. I've been in traffic, really bad traffic. I've been on really busy roads, motorways, like
Mm.
5, 6 lanes. It never ever fazed me, never
Mm.
bothered me. I think I almost enjoyed it because I liked the fact that I could do it, and I knew a lot of people who were really scared of busy motorways, and I was like, I'm okay, I'm fine. I don't mind this.
Yeah.
That was the opposite of what I was feeling that day, and it just came out of the. It was just like that. It was like you're absolutely fine in motorways. Now you have an absolute, total phobia of them, and
Mm.
it just came in, and that was what was so weird about it. So I did get home with my eyes closed and my fingers in my ears. And I don't remember the rest of that evening, to be honest.
Mm.
I don't remember getting I remember getting home, but I don't remember what we did. I don't remember putting the kids to bed. I don't remember going to bed myself. I don't know. It's like my brain blanked out that part of my, but could have done with it blanking out the rest of the day, to be honest. But
Mm.
my brain blanked out that part for some reason.
Yeah.
Um, and then I woke up. I remember waking up the next day, and as soon as I woke up, that anxiety flooded through my body.
Yeah.
Felt uneasy again, and I was like, "Oh no, we can't do this again today. That was yesterday. Let's leave that in the past. I'm okay today."
Mm.
And that's what I was like telling myself. I'm okay today. I'm not doing it. I just refused, I'd refused to feel this way again. I'm not doing this. No,
Mm.
no, no, body, you can get lost. I'm not doing this. So I said to the kids, someone, let's get ready. We're going to go out somewhere. We'll just go into town. It's only a couple of miles down the road. We'll just go into our town and just potter about or whatever. So as soon as I got out of the front door, I had a panic attack,
Mm.
and I just was like, what the hell's going on? I've got the kids. I was like, oh no, no, came back in the house. Then I tried to go out again and got in the car, and I was just so full of anxiety, but it was just like, I'm not doing this, and then tried to drive. And then I thought, oh, I can't do this, it's going to be dangerous. I've got the kids, and then had to get them back out the car, and they're like, what the hell is going on, mommy? Like, we're in
Mm.
and out, we're in and out. I was like, I'm so sorry, kids. I just can't do this today. And then kind of got them busy playing, and then went in another room and rang my friend and said, um, I I don't know what to do. Like, I feel this is awful how I feel. And then I told her about what had happened the day before, and I said, they give me diazepam, and she said, I've got some diazepam spare from when I had some problem with my leg. I'll bring them to you. And then I took them again, and I calmed down. But that was basically it. It was like that. I think the 2 weeks following that, I think it was about 2 weeks. I well for the few well actually a few days after, I actually developed a stammer.
Mm.
So when I was talking, I was, well, what a stammer is, where you couldn't get my words out. I
Yeah.
couldn't, and that's how I'm speaking for a few days.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about. But that, thank God, that kind of wore off after a few days. And then there was like 2 weeks of probably I will say at least 20 panic attacks a day
Oh my God.
for about 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I just went, I just didn't, I was just terrified. I didn't know what was going on with my body. And it was just awful.
Mm.
Um, and then obviously we got mental health authorities involved and doctors involved, and medications started flying left, right, and center, and and then yeah, that. But then I started my own journey with discovering what was going on with me and
Mm.
how how do I navigate through this.
Mm.
And it's been almost 2 years now, and there's been some really, really low points. So I, at the end of 2023, I I just got really, really depressed, really low, because I just didn't see how I was going to get out of this. I couldn't
Mm.
leave my own street. I couldn't, I could get out of my house and maybe walk up the drive, but I just couldn't seem to get any further than that. And I just didn't know what was, I couldn't work it out. I didn't know what was doing wrong. I didn't want to feel that way. Like that's how I was feeling at that
Mm.
time. And I just got really, really depressed because I was thinking, this is it. This is me now.
Mm.
And there is no way out. And then I started to have those thoughts of, I am a massive burden on everybody.
Mm.
I am, and then the depression got worse and worse. And then I got into that like real depressive state where your thoughts are not your own
Yeah.
anymore. And you start thinking you're not you anymore. And you start thinking things that me, Anneka, as a person, would never ever think. Like, my kids would be better off if I just wasn't here. Like
Mm.
everybody would be just so much better off if I wasn't here. And I truly believed it, Lauren. At the time, I can remember thinking this, yeah, I need to just leave these. I need to do something and get and leave, and then everything will be okay. Everybody, and I truly believe that my kids would be absolutely fine without their mother around. Like that's how depressed I was.
Yeah.
Um, and then unfortunately that took hold of me, and the beginning January, um, in January the 9th, 2024, I I tried to take my own life,
Mm.
and luckily was found by my mum, bless her, and taken to hospital. Um, and then there was a battle on whether to keep me in a hospital to get well or let me be at home. And I think everybody decided as a whole that it would be better for me to be at home. Like being in a hospital is not going to be, I would just get more depressed and I would just get worse. And I needed to be at home and work on this from home
Mm.
and have mental health people helping me and change medications and do, they do things like that. And then I started to very, very slowly um, climb out of the depression. I don't know how or why. I just did. It just kind of, um, I had a lot of love around me. I have a lot of love, have a lot of people in my life that that love was so, yeah, I'm so sorry.
I'm crying as well.
um, yeah. And then I started to realize that my kids do need their mother, no matter what version, no matter what that looked like.
Mm.
And I was determined that I'm going to fight this and I am going to get better, and I'm just going to work it out because the um the mental health teams that I was working with didn't seem to know what to do.
Mm,
They didn't know. They were like giving me, let's put you on a little course of where you this course is about managing emotions. And
mm,
I was like, okay, let's do that then. And thinking, right, I'll just go along with this. But I know what my emotions are all about. I know, like, you don't need to teach me about emotions. I'm a very emotional person.
mm,
um and then they were like, okay, then let's do another course. Let's do this course on what is anxiety and what is good anxiety and what is bad anxiety. And do you know what? I now looking back on that, I hate that so much because I just think, just you cannot you can't tell me what good anxiety and bad anxiety is.
mm,
Like, anxiety is anxiety. It's neither good nor bad. It's all there.
mm,
It's all human.
mm,
You can't you can't teach a person, like, if you have this anxiety when you're going for a job interview, then that is good anxiety. And you're
mm,
like, okay, but who are you to decide? Like, that's good anxiety.
mm,
Anyway, I just got to the point where I was like, none of this is helping me. You aren't helping me. And they even and to quote one of the mental health guys who was working with me at the time, because I was kind of getting passed from one to the next, and then he literally said, I don't know what to do with you anymore. I was like, well,
wow.
that's great, because
Mm,
you're the professional. And
mm,
if you don't know how to fix this, then
what the fuck?
what am I supposed yeah, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And he said, I'm going to pass you on to this what's called talking therapies. And it's basically just it's um it's set up, so it's within the NHS, and it's just a way, it's a counselling that they do for people, and you get put on a waiting list. And luckily, because I was already with a mental health team, I didn't have to wait the months and months and months that people are having to wait just to have counselling. So but all I do is talking therapy. So I just literally, it's actually it's nice in some ways because I get a lot of that emotion out when I'm talking on the phone, because it's just a phone call that I have
Mm,
for an hour once a week.
mhm,
Um, but that is all that's all the help that I'm getting. Everything else I'm doing is purely from my own research. It's from reading your book. It's from looking at listening to podcasts. It's from reading, lots and lots of books.
yeah.
Just doing so much research on it.
Mm,
And then now I do feel like I'm at a point now where I've I kind of like made a little bit of progress last year, but then had a really big panic attack and then kind of retreated back into the house again.
mm,
Um, that was like the end of last year, about November last year. And I realized that I just wasn't approaching it properly. So I was going out doing the exposure, but I was like, right, okay, I'll walk along the road and then come back again. Oh, that felt okay. Oh, that was good. That's a good thing. Okay,
mm,
and then go out in the car, go a little bit further. Oh, that felt okay. That's good. Right, okay. And then as soon as it felt bad, as soon
yeah.
as I had this big panic attack, it was like,
I'm
oh,
out.
that's dangerous. Like, right, no, 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 we're not doing this again. We're not doing this. We've got to go back into the house. So I've realized that exposure therapy is not exposing yourself the to the well, it is in a sense exposing yourself to the distance or that thing that causes panic, but you're exposing yourself to the feeling.
Yeah.
So this time round when I've been doing my exposures, I'm allowing myself to feel. And that's been tough
Mm,
because uh, I know it's going to get easier, and I know it's about being comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Mm.
Um, but it has been tough in the beginning because obviously everything that is in my body and everything that I have from the age of 8, where I was not taught that that feeling you're having is actually not, is actually, it's okay, and look, this is what it is. And it was just avoid that feeling at all costs, and because it's dangerous and it's not good. And that's basically what my brain has been kind of taught, and what I've been that's what I've been thinking all these years. And now I have to rewire all that thinking
Mm.
to, you know what, I can do this, I can feel this feeling. And yeah, no, yeah, that's awful what I'm feeling right now. This is an awful feeling that I'm feeling right now. And but I'm not going to react, I'm not going to respond, I'm going to allow it to be there. I'm going to, this is not dangerous, this
Mm.
is where I am is not dangerous, I'm not in a dangerous situation. So it's about rewiring that thinking. And to do that, you can't just read a book and go, right, my brain is rewired now.
Yeah.
You have to,
The work
you
is
have to,
done.
yeah.
Yeah.
If only we could just like download,
Yeah.
change the settings.
Yep. Yeah.
You have to actually experience it to
Yes.
rewire it.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at the minute. So,
Hmm.
um, but I feel like I'm doing well. The progress feels slow,
Mm.
but I think that that it will be what it is. It is what it is. It will be. I cannot speed this up. I cannot make this go any faster. It will. This healing will go at the speed that it needs to go at, because I
Hmm.
think it's there's a lot of years of healing to be
Yep.
done here.
Yeah.
And I am definitely getting better at feeling the panic and not responding.
Mm.
And I am having I've had a couple of panic attacks recently where I did not respond at all. And afterwards I was like, whoa, that that was new. That's
Yeah.
didn't know I could do that.
Yeah. Yep.
That's interesting. And that's kind of been an encouragement for me, because it that felt like a win, you know
Mm.
what I mean? Like it felt
Hmm.
like, okay, maybe I can do this.
Yeah.
And but there's always going to be those thoughts, always going to be those, because your brain, that part of your brain, it just wants to keep you safe.
Mm.
So it's going to give you the what ifs are going to fly up all the time. Yeah, it's always going to be like, yeah, but Anneka, I know you're feeling better about this, but come on, it doesn't feel nice. You don't want to feel that way. Come on, you don't want to feel that way, do you? And you're like, okay, all right. And it's like
Maybe not today.
you're kind of having this like, I say, there's this argument going on all the time between
Yeah.
your logical brain and the survival part of your brain, the amygdala. And it's like,
Hmm.
I'm always going, yeah, like it's always saying, Anneka, this is not safe. And I'm like, it is safe. Yeah, but what if? And it just chill out, man.
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
you having this argument all the time, and you
Mm.
just kind of go, you know what, I'm not going to respond. I'm not
Mm.
going to respond. I know I'm safe. I know that I can feel this feeling and it will pass. And if you want to be scared, be scared. I get it. Like, this is scary what we're doing. And, it's kind of like having a new conversation.
Yeah. It's a whole
Having
new
it.
conversation.
Yeah.
It's a whole new way of handling an emotion that like you are designed to run from,
Hmm.
you know?
Hmm.
So I I can absolutely relate to that and it sounds like you're doing amazingly.
I feel like when people say, like, how are you doing? And you just think, oh, I don't want to tell you because it probably seems so insignificant to you, but it's such a big milestone for me. So if like I said, so basically I this time round of exposure,
Mm.
I've because I was housebound. So in the last few months, I've managed to get, I would say, just over two-thirds of the way along my street, which my so to the end of my street, and that would be about 100 meters.
Mhm.
Um, but to me, that's a long way to, and it's and I know what's been involved in that feeling process of getting to that distance.
Mm.
Like that distance doesn't seem very long, but to me, it's like, yeah, but I know that this each, because I've been doing like each house along, like I've been getting to every house along my street, and I'm like, can I get to the next house and feel that feeling at the next house and stay there with it?
Mm.
So that's what I've been doing, and then I managed to actually drive out of my street for the first time in months, probably I don't know how many months, the other day. And because I just got to the end of my street and I just couldn't get out because the street that I'm joining, it's like single, it's like, so it's like, how do I explain this? It's got like a central reservation, so it's like an island in the middle, so if you join the road, you're on the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can't, even though it's like a little bit, it's only a little distance to a junction where I can turn around and then come back again.
Yeah.
um the thought of like, right, when I'm on it, I'm on it.
Yeah.
There ain't no turning around. You're in this now, and that's that feeling. It's like
Yeah.
I can't escape. I
Mm.
can't get away from this quickly. I can't turn around, and that is what brings on a lot of my panic, is being that trapped feeling.
Mm.
So I actually managed to do that the other day, and I actually recorded it. So I've been kind of keeping a log of all of this, my exposure walks and my driving, on my Instagram.
Mhm.
And kind of everybody's like kind of been coming along on the walks with me. So it feels like I'm not on my own when I'm doing it, even though I am totally on my own. So I'm just kind of talking to my phone and
Yeah.
just talking about, well, this is how I feel right now. And oh gosh, I just had that feeling again. And it's just, it just makes it, I know you did a lot of that, didn't you, when you were in your recovery in the
Yeah.
car and stuff. And
Yeah.
I
And it
think I
helped the
kind of,
most.
yeah, I think I kind of got the idea from you, to be honest. And it does help, just because you're just talking it through all the time.
Yes. Yes.
And like in the car, I pulled onto that road and I was like saying out loud, oh, look, there's that feeling. Oh, I can't believe it's just, I've got that rush of adrenaline. It's so, yeah, come on, then we've got to do this. And then I turned it on, and I kind of, I didn't rush. I didn't, I didn't go, oh crap, like do this really, really quickly and then get back. I didn't rush or anything like that. I was just like, no, let's stay. So we sat at the junction, turned around slowly. I did it all really slowly. I didn't respond to any of those feelings. And as I pulled back in my street, you can see on the video when I watched it back, I was like, yes, I did it. Because I got out on my street.
Yeah.
I felt the
Yeah.
feeling. It's like there's some really nice highs,
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of to that recovery process, because you just like, you're so proud of yourself because
Hmm.
you know more than anyone how bad it feels in that moment,
Yeah.
like how the terror, the thoughts that just go, oh, I can't stand the thoughts. Like I think I could manage the physical thing on its own if it was just the physical symptoms,
Yeah.
but it's when the physical symptoms are then the thoughts of, like, you need to get home right now, like
Mm.
this is you are so, I can't even, the thoughts aren't even sentences sometimes,
It's
it's
the
just
same
that
for
feeling
me. It's not,
in your brain. Yeah.
yeah. And my therapist used to say, like, okay, let's like write out the thoughts. And I was like, it's not
Mm.
even a thought, it's like a something.
Yes.
It's I don't know,
Oh
it was so
yeah,
strange. I'm
it's
so
like,
glad to hear
yeah.
someone else say that.
Yeah, it is. It's not even a thought. It's not a sentence. It's just in your brain.
Mm.
There is almost a, yeah, it's hard to kind of describe. It's just like an awareness, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like a full-on awareness that your brain is then saying, you are in a really, this is the worst place that you could be in right now. What are you doing? Like that,
Mm.
it's that kind of feeling like,
Mm.
oh crap, yeah, I need to move. I need to get home quick.
Yeah.
It's that,
Yeah.
it's like that feeling in my brain that I just don't like. But I'm not responding to it. I'm very aware. I think it's because I'm now aware that, okay, that is a thought, or is that's a feeling, but that's not true. It's not
Mm.
necessarily true. It's not necessarily, that's not a fact, and that's not me.
Mhm.
That's just a part of me that
Mhm.
is having a reaction right now. But it doesn't mean to say that I have to respond to it. As my conscious, logical, and well, I keep saying logical, but that's because I think of like that part of your brain that they call the logical part of your brain. But that's who I am. That's me. That's Anneka, and I can respond to and make a decision on this whenever I want. I don't have to respond just because you're poking me with this.
Mm.
Like, get home now. And I think that's what I've been learning
Mm.
a lot in the last few months, and I think that's what's been most helpful for me.
Yeah.
Um, I think what also helped was I am wittering on a little bit now, Anna,
It's
because if
great. It's
someone starts talk about this, and I'm like, oh, okay,
it's good.
because I just know because I've just learned so much about it. I read a book called Dare. I was gonna bring it in the room actually. Have you heard of the book
Yes,
Dare?
yes. Barry
Yes.
Barry McDonough? Donna? I
Yes,
never know how to
yes,
say it.
yeah. I've been reading that, and I've not finished the book because I haven't been reading it like I would normally do, where I just like read, finish.
Mm.
Um, I've been doing it in purposeful kind of slow stages
Mm.
where I could really take in each, even to the point where if there was like a page that had something really significant in it, I would just literally read that one page and then put it down and go, I need to soak that up.
Yeah.
What he's just said there,
Yeah.
because that is good stuff. I really need to soak that up. But I need to work on what he just said just there. That
Yeah.
is a really good book there. And that I think that has definitely helped with the what ifs
Hmm.
that come in your brain and dealing with those, and also accept and allow,
Mm.
like that I think there's something in the book about how you get the power back, and I was like, wow, I love that. Like
Mm.
that is so true. That is what I need. But I want to be back in control again, and I can be like I am always in control, in a sense of how I respond,
Mm.
or I can be, and no one can ever take that away from me. Like how I respond to something is always going to be my choice.
Mm.
Um, and I love that, like getting that, giving you back the power by saying, I accept this. I even allow this to happen. Like I allow this to happen.
Mm.
I accept and I allow. And I love the part of the next part of the dare process, where if you get into that panic state where you say you basically run towards,
Mm.
and you go, come on then, give me more of this. I want more of this
Hmm.
feeling that you're doing, that's happening right now. I want more of it. And I actually did that for the first time. I've only done it once, um about a week ago, when I had a panic attack in my bed. And I think it was just because I was so pissed off because I was about to go to sleep. So I was like, you're doing this now.
Yeah.
You're going to give me a panic attack now. I'm
Why not?
I'm so ready to go to sleep right now.
Yeah.
So I was like angry.
Mm.
So I think that probably helped. So I did the whole, okay, I accept and allow you to do this right now. And I was like, and it was like I was for the first time I was observing, like I was like, wow, my heart is beating so hard right now. That is amazing how hard my heart can beat. Like that is, I have got a healthy heart. And it was really like observing it on a different level. And then I was observing the thoughts as well. So I would have a thought come in where, so basically, um, there's a whole other part of my story which involves my husband leaving,
Hmm.
which I probably don't really want to get into.
Hmm.
But I'm now a single parent. Um, so since all this happened, he's left, and I'm a single parent. And so my mum came to live with me, and we have like what we call the cabin, which is like another room down at the bottom of our garden.
Hmm.
And it's a bedroom. It's set up. It's I haven't stuck her in the shed. Do you know what I mean? She's living in a really nice, so she's in a really nice room.
Yeah.
It, um, and I remember lying there, and I was like, my thoughts like, you need. What if she's asleep? Like, you need to ring her. You need to ring her right now so she can. How quickly can she get from the camp? Because she's 73. How can she can't get up here quickly? And I was like, I was observing all these thoughts. I was like, yeah, that's really interesting. Like,
Mm.
but I'm not going to ring her, so I don't really need to know how quickly she can get up here because I'm not responding. And
Hmm.
it was so strange. I've never had that before. And then I felt like another wave of the panic come on. And I was like, right, okay then. Right, we're doing this.
Mm.
Give me
Mm.
more of it right now. And like I said, I think it was because I was already so angry with
So
it.
fired up. Yeah.
I was
You're like,
like,
let's
right,
dance. Let's
right
go.
then, do it. I don't care.
Yeah.
But it worked. It was like it went, oh, okay, then if you're gonna tell me to do it, I'm not gonna do it. It was like,
Yeah.
and it just kind of just dissipated, and I almost felt like it, a a kind of like a euphoric
Mm.
feeling in my
Hmm.
body straight
Hmm.
after. And I was like, well, this is also new. Like, I've never had this before after a panic attack. What's that all about?
Yeah.
So I'm just experiencing all these like new ways and like a feeling. And yeah, and it feels hopeful. There's
Hmm.
hope there now, like that this can be better. I can get to the places I want to be. And like I said, I've traveled a lot, and I don't particularly feel like I've done the traveling that I want to do,
Mm.
like out outside of the UK, maybe into Europe a bit, but I don't. I just feel like I've done the traveling, so there's not that feeling of, oh no, like I'm never going to be able to travel the world. There's it's the feeling of it's the simple things, and it's the
Mm.
simple things that I missed. I want to walk my kids to school.
Yeah.
I want to pick them up from school. I want to take them to the park.
Hmm.
I want to go for coffee with my friend.
Mm.
I want to,
Yes.
it's simple things,
Yeah.
and that's the dreams.
Yeah.
Like that's what my it's making me emotional again. What are you doing, Lauren? Um, yeah, that's what I want. That's my goals. That's my
Mm.
dreams.
Hmm.
Like it's not, oh, I want to get on a plane and then I'm going to go and climb this mountain and wherever. And nah,
Yeah.
I just want to do the simple things in life that I want. Basically, where I live, there's a river that runs through the town, and I want to be able to drive to that river. I miss that so much. I want to drive to that river and sit next to that river.
Hmm.
I miss that so much,
Mm.
especially this time of year when it's spring and going into summer. I want to be able to hear that water and hear the birds and hear that water. It's just simple things like that I miss.
Yeah.
It's made me appreciate the simple things in life.
Hmm.
And I know as I get better and I go further, and I kind of want to avoid the word recover because I don't feel like it's a I don't feel like I've got something to recover from. It's
Mm,
more of I need. It's more of like I said, changing the conversation.
mm,
I getting to know myself, allowing myself to heal
yeah.
from past traumas, from things that have happened in my life.
Mm,
Um, that's what it is. I know, and once I can do that, and I feel like I've healed a lot of wounds, and I've allowed myself to be human again, and I allow myself to feel, and I'm at a position where I'm comfortable with the uncomfortable, and I'm traveling around my town and the UK. I think I'm going to have such an appreciation for life that
mm,
it's going to be beyond anything that I could ever imagine before this happened, because I'm going to be
mm,
so grateful in every moment, because I thought at one point in my life, I thought all of that was lost for good,
yeah.
and I would never ever have it get back. And now there is hope that I will get those things back, that they're not lost for good, that I
Hmm.
didn't lose my life. It just changed into a different season.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you're still here. I'm so glad that you're still here. I just, yeah. You're such a bubbly person and such a it sounds like the word I feel like isn't enough for you, but you're very vibrant and
Oh,
like
thank you.
there's so much life. And I just hearing that you got to that point is so heartbreaking. Um, and I know those thoughts and those feelings and how convincing it is. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm just so glad that you're still here. And I think, if people just were watching some of your videos, I think they would be surprised to know how low you'd gotten. Um,
yeah, yeah,
because you are so
yeah,
bubbly and so bright, and it
yeah.
just, yeah, it's not heartening to know that you got that low, but it's relatable and
Yes, yes,
like I feel like I can see myself in that, and
yes,
I
yes, yes,
appreciate that your
yes.
vulnerability.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and I think that's exactly what I wanted to do. Um, but part of the reason for me doing the videos, with the exposure, was to for people who could relate, that
Yeah.
there might be somebody who could possibly see that and go, and because I think one of the hardest things, um definitely one of the hardest things of going through agoraphobia and panic disorder, is how lonely you feel.
Yeah.
And it's not just lonely because you're in the house, it's lonely because nobody around you knows what this feels like, and they don't know what you don't know what you got, and they're trying so hard to like understand, but they don't.
Mm,
And then you just feel so alone, and you just think, I am the only person in the world that feels like this right now.
mm,
Like, I nobody, I can't speak to anyone about how I feel. And I think, and then I did a course, with Panic to Peace. I don't know whether you've heard of Shannon
Shannon.
Jackson.
Yeah. Yep.
And I did a course with Shannon,
Hmm.
and I met all these wonderful American and Canadian ladies. And we have a WhatsApp group now,
Yep.
and I absolutely adore them. But like, for me, like, the course was fantastic, and I learned a lot. But I think I feel like I would have spent the money on just if someone said, like, spend this money and you'll have all this community of people who understand, that
Yeah.
would be that, like, that was worth it for me, as well as all the content that I got from the course. But having those people who I can just message anytime,
We get it.
um and say, this is what I'm feeling right now. And we all kind of support each other because we totally, it's like every single person on that group goes, yeah, I know exactly what that feels like. I know what you're going through right now. Like,
Mm,
and it's like that has been so invaluable for me. And I wanted to kind of make sure in some way, I don't, I don't have a huge following on Instagram, but I kind of thought, well, if I reach one person,
mm,
and then they start to follow me, and then they don't feel so lonely anymore, then that's worth it. You know what I
mhm,
mean? I don't want anyone to feel lonely on this journey. I want everyone who is going through this to know that there is somebody else out there who is going through exactly the same and understands it
mm.
and wants to support them and wants them to get through it. We can all get through this together.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I set up a so I set this year I set up a website,
Mhm.
annekapanica.co.uk.
It works. It's
It
good.
had to. I had to, didn't I? I mean, how can you not? With a name like Anneka and a panic disorder, how could you not have
Jeez.
Anneka Panica? And then I've been doing blogs on there as well.
Mhm,
So I'm just trying to kind of just whilst I'm on my journey,
mhm.
kind of reach people who are also on their journey at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I know it's great like seeing because people like you bring hope. People like
Mhm,
Shannon like bring me hope. Because you're kind of at the end, I guess, or at the right at the place where I want to be, in the place where I know that it's possible because I can see that you've done things that
mm,
you never thought you could do.
mm,
But also I think whilst you're in this journey, like I say, having that person being able to watch you and know that you're there, but also being able to watch somebody like me and knowing that I'm not there yet. We can go through this together and learn from each other, and
mm.
that makes sense. That's
No,
kind of like
yeah.
where I wanted to go with the Instagram and the website, and just see where it goes. Let's just see where it goes. I'm not like doing it for like, oh, let's see how big I can get. So I want to be able to follow. I want to be able to reach as many people like me as I can,
Yeah.
because I don't want anyone to feel as low as I felt
Mm. Yeah.
at the end, at the beginning of 2024.
Mm.
I don't want anyone to ever feel that lonely and that hopeless.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No,
yeah.
I think it's amazing. And I've never met anyone who has gone through agoraphobia and hasn't come out the other side going, I have to help someone. Like
Yeah,
because you know how dark it is. And so
yeah,
you have to
yeah,
light the way
yeah,
for other people.
yeah, yeah.
It's amazing. And I
Yeah.
have to tell you, I used to have a blog and I did videos and like it
Mhm.
it it was I felt like that's where my journey started. Like that's where I actually
Mhm.
started to make progress because I was like,
Yeah,
I feel like I have this community. I feel
yeah,
like we're all in it together. And
yeah.
you're as you were saying, you're like the observer, like you're talking yourself through your
Mhm.
exposure and you're able to sort of be in it, but also not in it.
Yes, yes,
It's really helpful. So I'm
yes,
so glad
yes,
you're doing it.
yes.
Have you found a community through that as well?
Yes, yeah. So I've started to have a few people who have started following me on Instagram, and there is, and then I'm following them back, and there's a couple who are on a similar journey. Some people are a bit further ahead. When I say a bit further ahead, I feel like some people are able to walk out of their street, and some people can't walk out of their house.
Yeah.
So we're all at like different stages. And I think I'm just hoping that community will just grow and grow.
Mm,
Um, yeah, yeah. And I'm just going to keep doing it, even if it's just for the people who, if it doesn't grow, then I'm just going to keep doing it, and
I
if
think it will. I have to say
someone
you're
will
you're
watch it, then
very addictive to watch because your humor, Like, I don't know if it's just my kind of humor, but I love the way you can laugh at what's happening. And I think it
Yeah.
really softens the blow of how hard
Yes.
it can be to
Yeah.
face that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. I think that's been like one of my saviors is the fact that I can. My brother calls it dark humor. It's
Yeah.
like having the ability to laugh at a situation that's not funny,
Yeah.
but you just kind of like you've got to try and make some kind of joke out of it, and just so that you can laugh, I guess. Yeah, yeah. I think that's been like one of my saviors is being able to is that I've not lost my sense of humor in all of this.
Good. Good.
And
Yeah.
that I can look back at the worst moment in my life and laugh at the fact that my 5-year-old child like was not bothered about me dying. Um,
I think it's got to speak to different personality types though as well, because my
yeah,
eldest is exactly like she would freak out, but my youngest is
yeah,
just a
yeah,
cyclone, and I don't think it takes a lot to really worry her. So
yes, yeah. My two are the same. My two are the
yeah.
same. Like my eldest is he is aware
Mm,
of things that might make him feel so. He's a little bit like me in that way.
mm,
Um, but he also has suspected, we haven't had it diagnosed yet, but we highly suspect that he has ADHD as well.
mhm,
So he's got strong emotions and ADHD. So yeah, he deals with it so well, Lord bless him. But my youngest is like just not faced by anything. It's
mm.
just like I'm like the genes that you have, like I could have done with some more of those. Like, where
Yeah.
did you get them from? Like, because
Yeah.
I don't think they came from me.
Yeah. I can get that
Um,
cocktail.
yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. But he has got a really good sense of humor too. Like, so he makes me laugh a lot.
Mm,
But yeah, he just doesn't seem to be phased, whereas the other one's like a bit more aware of the potential risks in
yeah.
life.
Potential disasters.
Yeah.
What do you think that we need as parents, or like what do you think our kids need to like I just think back when you were saying you were, in the school assembly and stuff and like that feeling of being trapped, but then not having the words for that or
Yeah.
not knowing how to deal with that. How do
Yeah.
you think we
Yeah.
can support our kids without going too far in the other direction, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I definitely because I'm doing it now. I'm doing it now in the sense that I'm talking openly about how emotions feel in your body and in your mind
Mm,
and the thoughts that they provoke and talking about it like and reminding our children this is human,
mm,
this is this is meant to happen, like this is how we were built, this is how we're wired, and some people are built differently. We're
mhm,
all so unique and we're all wired so differently. And the way that you are designed is so beautiful and so beyond anything that I could ever get my head around. And what your body and mind are doing is just what you were designed to do. And it's so normal. And I think it's about like telling them and being talking about it, all the time well, not all the time. Like,
mm.
don't interrupt Bluey to talk about it. I mean, like, let's switch this off and talk about our feelings. I mean, like when you see them struggling or when you see that they're having some big emotions, is to talk about it with them, like, and explain it to them. I think the science side as well as everything else, like so that they understand it,
Mm,
like having that understanding of what's going on
mm,
takes away the fear of what's going on,
mm,
the a little bit. And I think that's all you can do with them,
mm,
for them, is to help them, explain to them what it is, and talk about it, when they need to, when you just because I'm very aware now of um so for example, I'm my eldest, he, like I say, he's a bit more anxiety there. Um and I think his age as well, because he's 10, so he's like approaching, they do go through that stage where they have like pre I was going to say menopause. That's a
Like
completely different thing.
pre-puberty. So
Pre-puberty, that's it. So they have like this pre-puberty thing. So I think he's probably going through that with hormones and stuff. But I'm aware of like, I can see anxiety in him
mm,
when it's happening.
mm,
So I can jump on it straight away
mm,
and talk to him straight away, and you know, just kind of, yeah, sort it out in the moment. And but I think it's important, and it's like the balance. Don't rescue them
mm,
from their emotions.
mm.
Don't rescue them from tough feelings.
So
You've
hard.
got It's so, so hard, isn't it? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Like, oh, that's all you want to do, because this is what you feel like you're able to do. Like, I need to save, but it's not dangerous for them to feel. It's
Mm,
not dangerous for them to feel.
mm.
So, as hard as it is for us, we're just like, we're sometimes, I mean, it's hard to say, but sometimes we rescue them for us,
Yeah.
because it's hard for
Yeah.
us to see them feeling that way. Like, I
Yeah.
need you to stop feeling that way because it's making me want to cry.
Mm,
Um, but if we resist rescuing them from it and just be with them in it, don't try and take, and by what I mean by that is like, don't say, right, come on then, let's do something, let's distract you, let's see what positive thing, let's think positively, let's do, don't try and rescue them from it. Let them
mm,
feel what they need to feel, and it will take the process needs to take the journey that that it's going to take.
yeah.
They need to come out the other side of that, and so that they know that they can.
Mm,
Because if you keep rescuing them from tough things, they're uh, one gonna feel like bad feelings um, are dangerous and are not to be felt and are to be avoided at all costs. And two, they're going to feel like they're not going to build up that confidence that they can feel,
mm.
tough emotions and get through it themselves. So, but that's hard to do that,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you feel like you are. I mean, I definitely grew up with, like, my mum is amazing. Like, like, she is an absolutely amazing mum. I could not, like, she's literally dropped her life to come and live with me. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So
mm,
that she's just absolutely amazing. But I do know growing up that she rescued me a lot
mm,
from my feelings,
mm.
and I think. I'm not saying that caused the panic at all. I'm saying because there's all different parts that have definitely played, and they're like, I did. My
Yeah.
dad was a bit of a, uh, let's say, erratic character, in the sense that you never knew where he was. I don't think he knows how to deal with his emotions, so
Mm,
you never knew where you were at with him. So it was always a bit like, oh, like, is he? Ooh. So you were a bit on edge,
yeah.
and he was like the type of person that kind of um like, he was anxious in situations, and then that kind of rubbed off on you. And
Mm,
then I know that my mom was like rescuing me from my feelings all the time. Like,
yeah.
um but there's also like there's all kinds of other things that have had an impact. I know for a fact that leading up, there's a massive journey
Mm,
all the way up to me like having full-blown panic disorder. There's been so many things that happened.
mm,
um but when I think about like parenting, and I do sometimes look back and think there is so many positive things that my mum and dad did for me, but I do recognize certain things that I think maybe weren't that good. And
mm.
the sad thing is that at the time my parents thought that what they were doing was for my good,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it had the opposite effect.
Mm. Yeah.
So you think, oh, let's rescue, let's take away that pain, let's take away the tears. Don't cry, don't cry.
Mm.
Let's wipe those tears away. But it's not teaching you about how to feel,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely I I'm like thinking of times as you're saying that where like I've tried to fix with my kids and I'm like, oh, like yeah, it's so
Yeah.
hard not to, but I love that
Yeah.
you said, you know, that they're human and it's beautiful what their body's doing. And I think
Yes. Yeah.
that's really helpful to remember.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
know what advice you would give to someone who is struggling, to someone who is feeling low, to someone who's feeling like there's no hope. What would be your advice?
Gosh. It's like I'm trying to think of like, is there one big thing? Is there one thing that I would say? Do you know? Um, I think my, I think the one thing that I would say is to find a community of people is to if first of all you're not on your own. I think I would say you know to that person, you are absolutely not on your own. You would be surprised at just how many people are going through what you're going through. Find that community, find those, reach out, find those people that are going through what you're going through, um and try and connect to them, because I think that makes such a big difference to know that you're not on your own.
Mm.
Um, I don't know, Lauren. That's a tough question. I don't know. There isn't like one bit of advice. I think there's like loads of different things that I would probably say to that person, to somebody. It's like,
It's a
do
layer
your,
cake, isn't it?
yeah, I would like give them a list of, I'd give them a list of books to read. I would,
Yeah,
I would tell them to call me every week.
yeah,
There'd be like
yeah.
different things that I would say. I don't lose hope.
Hmm.
Never ever lose hope. And I know that there are times where you feel hopeless, and it's okay to feel it's okay to have days where you go, you know what, this is shit.
Mm.
I don't like it, and I'm going to sit here and cry about it. And it's good to get those feelings. It's good to get those tears out, because you are, that you're, and it's actually scientifically proven now that crying is good for you.
Hmm. Amazing,
I've
because
been
I
saying
do
it.
that a lot.
I've been saying it for years. I've been giving people examples of it
Yeah,
many times.
yeah.
Look at me cry, because I cry all the time. And I do, and I've actually said like you just need a good cry. Like I've been saying this for years, and then I found it out. I think last year I read something about it being good for, like actually scientifically proven, and I was like, I need to look into this, because this is what I've been saying for years. And
Vindicated.
you actually, yeah, your body releases chemicals, and actually to make you, when once you've had a good cry, afterwards you do feel a lot better, because
Mm.
it's what your body is processing, that trauma, it's processing those feelings, and it's
Hmm.
doing what it's supposed to do when you have a good cry. Never ever stop yourself from crying.
Hmm.
Like never ever go, oh no, I can't cry. Just cry. That's what I'd say. There's my bit of advice for you. If you
Sit
want to
down and
cry,
cry.
just cry. Just
Yeah,
do it, man.
yeah.
Yeah, there's so many, isn't there? There's so many things that you could advice to give to people. Yeah,
Mm.
I don't know.
Mm.
Just cry.
I think that's perfectly solid advice. We do. We suppress so much of our feeling, and I think, yeah, learning to be human, learning to cry, learning to panic, learning to feel shit sometimes is hard.
Yeah, yeah. Allow
And
yourself,
sadly,
allowing
we have
yourself to
to,
feel.
yeah, we
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
give ourselves permission.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's so important to do that, and I've been doing that a lot more lately. I learned on that Panic to Peace course. I think the important part of what I like, what I got from it was the self-compassion, and how
Mhm.
she like talked about that. And my self-talk now, I am so much, it takes practice, of course, like again, you're rewiring, a habit of that, or you're changing a habit of talking to yourself in a certain way.
Mm.
But the way that I speak to myself now is so nice. Like I am so nice to myself now. I'm like, and you
Good.
should be your own best friend. I didn't realize how harsh I was to myself and how like I was really quite mean. And I would expect so much of myself. Like I don't even know where that came from. I don't even want to look into it. It's probably, you know what I mean? Some psychological. I don't know where that, yeah, something from my past. But I was really hard on myself. And my self-talk now is like is I'm really nice. Like I'm really kind. Like I will look in the mirror and I will say nice things to myself. Whereas before, I was mean. I was
Mm.
really mean.
Mm.
Um, and I think self-compassion is just so important. Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's something that I'm like trying like I say that a lot to my sister because I know that my sister's even though she's 9 years older than me, she's my big sister.
Mm.
She's my little big sister because she's littler than me.
Yeah.
Um, so I've been saying that to her a lot lately because she's been going through her own problems, and I'm like, you need to be your own best friend. Like you need to change the way what you're saying to yourself because it will make such a difference,
Mm.
such a massive difference. And
Mm.
it has to me. I'm actually surprised myself sometimes. It was so funny. I don't even know how I got into this. I don't even know what you asked me. Anyway, um, the I remember when I was doing that part of Shannon's course about self-compassion, I was suddenly aware of the things that I was saying
Yeah.
and to myself in my head. And I did something that was like, I think it was, I think somebody asked me a question and I said, no, I don't think I don't think I can do that. I don't think I'm ready to do that. And in my head, I went, um, you are so pathetic.
Mm.
And I heard it really loud. And
Wow.
out loud, I said, you can't say that. That is awful.
Mm.
Because I was so shocked. I suddenly was aware. I had this awareness of like the things that I was saying. And then I was shocked. I was
Mm.
shocked that I just called myself pathetic.
Mm.
And I was just like, all of a sudden, I was like defending myself again. I was like, no, you can't see, you can't call me pathetic. You're not saying that to me. That's an
Mhm.
awful thing to say to somebody.
Mm.
Why, Anneka, would you say that to yourself when I don't even think you would say that to somebody you don't like because you're not that sort of person?
Mm.
So why are you saying that to yourself? That's awful. And
Mm.
it just kind of changed. It changed the way that I was. Yeah, it definitely changed the way I was talking to myself. I was very then aware of different things that I was saying, and then I was defending myself against it. It's like, no,
I
no,
love that.
no, not pathetic. Actually, I'm
Yeah.
quite the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Have you seen what I've been through?
Mm. It makes you wonder how much goes unchecked. You know, how many
Yeah,
horrible
yeah,
things are we saying that we're just completely
yeah.
unaware of?
And for how many years was I doing that? Like, how many years
Yeah.
was I saying those things to myself?
Mm. Yeah.
It's
Maybe it was no
yeah,
wonder that you felt trapped and,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So one like if I wake up in the morning tomorrow and look in the mirror, what would be something you would say to yourself? Because I think I look first thing and I I would look at myself and probably think something like I don't want to I don't want to deal with today or I don't want to like
Mm,
I don't know, on my bad days it's like I feel like shit today and then judging myself for feeling that. What
yeah,
would be the
yeah.
turnaround?
Well, the first thing that if you looked yourself in the mirror, what would you say to yourself? I would you just say I love you.
Mm.
That's it.
Hmm.
Just look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. It makes me feel emotional thinking about it. That like it's when I first started doing that, I actually do it sometimes now, and it was hard,
Mm.
and it really upset me that it was so hard for
Yeah.
somebody like me who loves so deeply and so with so much like I love my kids so much. It's someone who can love so hard could not look in the mirror and say I love you to
Mm,
myself. And I was
mm,
like, that's bad. And now I look at myself and I've practiced it and I look myself in the eyes and I say, I love you.
mm,
I really love you. Thank you so much for everything that you have done for me up until this point.
yeah.
And let's do this. Let's get through another day together. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Let's go. I love you. That's it. That's all you need to say. Because if you
Amazing.
don't know what to say, if you don't know what to say, like, because in some moments you think, I don't know what to say to myself because I don't know what I'm doing and I feel really anxious today. And oh, what kind of advice would I give myself right now? And you just like, look at yourself and go, I love you.
Mm.
And that's it. Just stay calm, breathe, look yourself in the eyes, look deep into your own eyes. I know it probably sounds absolutely ridiculous. And I will say, I do make sure there's nobody in the vicinity when I'm doing it. Because it does probably look really strange.
Yeah.
But I don't care. I don't give a shit. It
Mm-hmm.
makes me feel better. Why
Mm.
shouldn't I love me?
Yeah.
I've loved so many other people for so many years and I've given a lot of love out. It's time to give myself a bit. Like
Mhm.
I need it. I need it right now. I've
Thank you
got
for
all this
doing that.
love.
Thank you for
Yeah.
loving you. I'm so glad that you love you. Because you are a
Thanks.
great person. And it's like when I
Oh.
think of you saying that to yourself, it makes me feel really good because I'm like, yes, she should be saying that to herself, you know?
Oh. I
That's
think
amazing.
everyone should be saying that. Everybody should be able to say that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, no matter what what you look like, what you feel like, what we all look in the mirror and think, especially if you've had two giant babies like I had,
Look in the
you
mirror
do
and go,
look
oh
at
shit.
you go, oh, what did I do that for? That's really messed it all up, hasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
But I can still look in the mirror and go, I love you.
Hmm.
I love you. I love that you did that. I love that you messed your body up in such a way so that you could have those two freaking amazing human beings in your life. Like, well, like, thank you so much for doing that. Thank you
Hmm.
for all those stretch marks and all that stretched skin. Thank you for doing that. Like, I
Mm.
love you for doing that. Thank you.
I love that
Yeah.
we got onto body positivity at the end there. That was an unexpected turn, but
Oh, no, it
yeah,
was.
so valuable. Annika, thank you so much. I got a huge amount out of this episode. And I know other people will too. Obviously, I will link your blog and your Instagram in the show notes so that people can find you,
Yeah.
Annika Panica.
Not a good
Um,
panic.
yeah, it's amazing. Thank you so much for being on Us Anxious Folk and sharing your story. And I can't wait to see
Thank
what you
you.
do next as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you for listening to the Us Anxious Folk podcast, the podcast for the chronically overwhelmed, perpetually panicked, anxious folk in all of us. If you would like to find more about me, you can find me on YouTube at Lauren Rose or on Instagram at Lauren R_Rose.